Rev up your engines!
Well, many new car buyers are putting themselves in a fix. Don't join them. It turns out that 1 in 4 trade-ins in the United States for buying a new car had negative equity, meaning they owed more in that car than they got when they traded it in. One, you're a fool to take a nice new car and trade it in. It's bad enough that the average new car in the United States is at a record level. The average new car costs $48,799. 2025. And here's the sad part. An average amount that buyers owe on a car for negative equity is $6,754. There's $6,754 in the hole. And 1/3 of the people that are underwater hold between $5,000 and $10,000 in debt in that car. And get this, 7% owed more than $15,000 in a car. And they're trading these things in. Don't be a fool. Don't keep throwing your money in. Don't. I mean, if you're that gawko about getting new cars, don't even buy a car. Lease them. Leases up, get another car. Leases up, you're going to lose less money than that. Being in the hole, then you're paying for that. And then they put that money that you owe into the note on your new car, and you just keep getting more and more in debt. If you really want to have a new car, which is foolish as far as I'm concerned, but if you do, don't buy it, lease it. You'll lose less money that way. Especially now, look at Volkswagen. Their electric ID.4, they can't give them away. Some of those things, they're leasing them for $129 a month. Hey, no negative equity there, right? Well, Volkswagen is claiming they got a $1.5 billion hit of losses from the U.S. tariffs in the first half of 2025. Volkswagen posted a sharp drop in second quarter profit, and they're blaming it on the high costs from U.S. import tariffs. And this is before Trump said he's threatening to raise the duties on EU auto imports to 30% on August 1st. So it might get worse. Who knows? Now, Volkswagen is a company in trouble anyways. They expanded too much. They bought a bunch of other crappy companies that don't make good cars. And Volkswagen has always made pretty much crappy cars that they sell in the United States when they stopped sending the German-made ones here. Now, the other day, I tried out a Volkswagen Golf R. Wasn't cheap. The guy paid like 60-something grand for it. But it's made in Deutschland. It's made in Germany. And it was an excellent vehicle, I got to say. But you get the ones that are made here, the ones that are made in Mexico, or the ones that are made in South America, their quality isn't that good. And it, for a while, they were making their fancy little GTs in Mexico. And the guys who liked them, they didn't like the quality of the Mexican ones. So then Volkswagen moved the GT production from Mexico back to Germany. And then the people say they're much better cars. So, hey, the company was in trouble to begin with. And the tariffs only added fuel to the fire of Volkswagen itself, which being that big, I'm sure they made lots of mistakes. They got caught and lost billions in that Dieselgate scandal where they were cheating with the diesel pollutions and stuff. So, hey, maybe it's coming home to roost. All their dirty deeds are coming to them. And now they're wondering, hey, what are we going to do? Well, maybe keep making them in Germany and forget about it. Maybe shut down the companies that you have. Shut down your factories that aren't in Germany. Go back to Germany where you started from. We have made good cars. Well, if you think you've lost money in a business endeavor, imagine Renault. The French car maker, Renault, ate $11 billion in loss from Nissan's catastrophic implosion. Now, of course, realize that it was Nissan, Renault, and Mitsubishi. And that kind of is falling apart now. But for a while it was a thing, and it was a very expensive thing for Renault. In the first half of 2025, Renault is writing off $11 billion in losses because of them getting off of the co-adventure. Some adventure that was. It was a disaster. Now, this $11 billion write-off represented money that was invested in Nissan operations. So Renault, in other words, is admitting it threw $11 billion in the garbage can. But realize this, they're still deep in the doo-doo because Renault still owns 37.5% of Nissan. They got rid of some of this, but they still own 37.5. And if they tried to sell that stock, it would go right down the toilet. It's bad enough as it is. If they decided to dump all that, it would go bananas. And of course, you realize Nissan is scrambling to try to keep afloat. Their new CEO, Ivan Espinosa, says he's going to do anything. And he said they have a new strategy that they're calling Nissan. Really Nissan. It's like run away from them if you ask me. I wouldn't buy their products. They say they're going to reduce Nissan's workforce by another 11,000 people and consolidate its 17 production plants down to 10 by the end of 2027. So Nissan is in deep doo-doo and Renault has lost a fortune because of it. Well, boo on Mazda. Mazda has finally caved in and put its first touchscreen in the new Mazda CX-5. Mazda's belief is hands on the wheel, eyes on the road is safety, and I agree. But they're putting digital controls now in the new CX-5 because everybody wants to have that stuff in it. Now, I agree with their philosophy because I work on a lot of cars. I drive a lot of cars, right? And there's nothing more annoying than, you got to figure out how to turn the AC up or down or headlights or whatever. And if you got to go to a touch screen, that's annoying. You're taking your eyes off the road, going to the touch screen. We have memory with our hands for, we know where the light switch is on a regular car. Just flip it. We know where the wipers are. You push the thing down, right? We know the cruise control. You push a button. We don't need to have to look at a screen. Looking at a screen is dangerous. You're taking your eyes off the road. After a generation of not using it, Mazda's now doing a conventional touchscreen experience. And they're axing most of the physical controls too. I disagree entirely. I think they're stupid. You get in an electric car. That's one of the reasons a lot of people don't buy an electric car. A lot of them, all the controls are there. They're hard to drive. The electric cars that actually, as far as I'm concerned, at least are better for driving are the ones that have an actual gear shift. And right, it doesn't go to gears, it doesn't have any gears, it's got electric motors. But it's got the gear shift, park, reverse drive, like we know, regular headlights, regular turn signals, and the dash that looks like a regular dash in the front, not a big screen, an actual dash, so you feel like you're in an actual car, not in some kind of spaceship that you have to be a rocket scientist to figure out how to drive the stupid thing. Now, at least Mazda's integrating Google Maps and everything into it, and Google Assistant will help the voice control that it has. But still, I say you shouldn't get rid of that stuff. People like it. Knobs, dials, whatever. You're safer. If your eyes are on the road the whole time, you're not taking your hands off the road, it is a better situation. It is just a better situation. I don't care what anybody says. And now they're getting away from it because that's, as usual, in the automotive business, they're all sheep. One sheep moves in the rest. They're all following each other because they're sheep. Be different than other people, right? Maybe that's why people were buying your cars in the first place. So I have to say, Mazda, I hope your sales go down because of this. And people said, we liked your other controls better. We don't like all this electronic crap. Well, if you're like me and you want to buy the cheapest gas, hey, how do you know if you're paying too much for your gas? What areas are the most expensive? Well, guess what? This is no surprise. As of July 22nd, 2025, Monroe County, California was the highest at $5.83 a gallon. Alpine County, again in California, was $5.80. But then it jumped to the state of Washington. San Juan County, Washington is $5.44. But then we're back to Trinity County, California, $5.19. And Sierra County, California, $5.17. Now, of course, there are certain areas that will be higher. When you go to like San Francisco, they always screw over in San Francisco. You go to areas where people have more money, they always charge more. I always used to get a laugh when I lived in Houston. I lived in an area called Montrose. If you drove like 2 minutes away, you were in the rich section, River Oaks, right? And sometimes the gas was 50 to 80 cents a gallon more, and it was only like half a mile away. Because rich people live there, and we charge you more money. They're lazy, they can fill your tanks up, pay us more money, right? It's just insanity. They basically get away with whatever they can get away with. And if they get away with it, they'll keep it up high until somebody complains enough that they'd have to lower it down. In the case of me when I was in Houston, heck, I'd just find the cheapest one locally and buy that. I don't care about driving a mile or something if I'm going to save 50, 80 cents a gallon. Guess what? There's an Asian city now that's going to ban all gas-powered motorcycles, and soon they said they're going to ban all cars. And guess what it is? It's Hanoi in Vietnam. As of July 1st, 2026, so that's in a year, they're going to ban all gas-powered motorcycles in the downtown areas of Hanoi. And then they're planning to stop gas-powered cars, too, in Hanoi. They've got so many people. It's so congested. And, of course, one of their big problems is they want to get rid of gas-powered motorcycles. Well, if you want to know the real matter is, because a lot of their gas-powered motorcycles are two-strokers, baby. And a two-stroke motorcycle, you mix the oil with the gas to burn in the engine because it doesn't have an oil sump. It doesn't hold oil in the engine. The oil is mixed with the gasoline, and, of course, they pollute like mad. And I guess they didn't want to go through the trouble of saying, well, you can drive a four-stroke motorcycle, but not a two-stroke. They're going to ban all gasoline-powered motorcycles. I guess they're trying to go towards electrification, too. And after all, Vietnam is technically a communist country, so they can probably tell people what they want to do. So eventually they want to get rid of gas-powered motorcycles in the big city because it stinks too much, and it probably does. If you've ever been to Mexico City, woo, they got a lot of diesels, old junky cars. It stinks too. Well, it looks like the EPA might be doing something good now. They said they're setting its sights on stop-start technologies. They used to have a credit of $30 or something per car that has stop-start because it gets better gas mileage, blah, blah, blah. But Americans hate it because they don't like it shutting off, turning on, shutting off, turning on, the AC not getting it cold. And as a mechanic, I hate it because I'm an honest mechanic. I don't want the cars to fall apart before their time. Now, a lot of mechanics love it. They sell more batteries. The engines wear out from start and stop, right? The starters wear out from more stop and start, and they make more money. They like it, but I'm an honest guy, and I hate it. I find it annoying. And why should you have to replace parts before their time, right? Well, now the EPA says they're going to look at it. They're going to address people's concerns. Now, they haven't detailed exactly what they're going to do, but they say in a statement from the EPA, and I quote, "Stop-start technology is a feature in automobiles that frustrates millions of Americans. Please stay tuned for more information about how the EPA intends to address the issue." So let's hope they address the issue by stop giving the credit, and then the companies will stop building them because it costs money to build them. And why would you build something like that when it destroys the engines for start and stopping all the time? Where's the battery out? A lot of these vehicles that have that now have two batteries, so when you replace one battery, you really have to replace both, so it costs a ton more money to replace the batteries, and we don't need to spend more money on crap that we don't even want in the first place. Well, here's a hilarious one, probably another reason not to buy an electric car. A guy got a parking ticket for using a charging station in his electric car. This happened in the city of Ferndale, Michigan, and he uses level 2 chargers because he lives in an apartment, he can't have everything at home. So, what does he do? He drove to Ferndale, Michigan, parked in a public 9.6 kilowatt level 2 charger. The parking spaces are listed as pull forward only. You're not allowed to back in, right? But he had to back in because on this BMW, the charger is in the rear of the car. He had to back in. So he comes back and there is a ticket on his car because he parked backwards. But that's the only way he could charge the car because the charger's in the back, right? This is what's so hilarious about electric cars. They don't standardize anything. Guy came over here the other day and he had an electric Audi. Now, he wasn't stupid. He bought it used and he only paid $12,000 for it. The original guy paid, 5-6 times that for the car. But he bought a used one. And he said he goes to charge and half the time he doesn't have the right charger. The charging system isn't set up for the Audi. Well, in this case, the BMW charger's in the back, not the front. And the cable wasn't long enough to reach the back. So he had to back and he got a parking ticket for it. And the hilarious thing is, he even paid for the parking there. There's this place to park. So he had paid for the parking. But he got a ticket because he backed in. They said, you're not supposed to back in. But that's the only way he could charge the car. It just shows you how screwed up the electric car situation is. And so what he did, he said, I'm calling these pseudo entrapment EV chargers because there's a few cars that charge in the back and you got to back in to charge them and then they give you a ticket. And when he posted this, a guy said I had a Model 3 and it's got a back-end charger too, and they gave me a ticket there in Michigan. So, yet another reason not to buy those stupid electric cars. The reasons for not buying them just getting higher and higher. Eventually it'll be the size of Mount Himalaya. Why not to buy an electric car? It's an 800-page long book. Read it all. Well, we humans better watch out. There is now a Chinese humanoid robot that can change out its own battery. Check the picture. Can pull the battery out, put the battery back in. Now this is called UB Tech. It's a Chinese company. And it has the humanoid Walker S2 robot that can change its own batteries. So, of course, it can operate around the clock. If it's in a factory or something, heck, you just move around. Okay, charge my battery up. Here I go. It's one thing. People worried about downtime. What about when the robot's got to change their batteries? Well, this one can change its own. It turns out that this S2 has a pair of battery packs, so it can leave one in, change the other one. Then it could change the other one if it wanted to. Because you'd wonder, okay, if it pulls its battery out, doesn't it go dead? Not if it has two batteries, it's only pull one of them out, right? So you better watch out, Elon, with your robot, because this is a Chinese one, and it's like half the price of his Optimus that you could see couldn't even serve popcorn to people, even though it was operated remotely. Wasn't even doing it on its own. Elon's getting passed by the Chinese with electric cars, while the robots are already beating them to the punch. And he probably doesn't even think about it. Getting ones that can change their own batteries, he's just trying to get one that works. It doesn't seem to work too well. Chinese ones, they got pictures of them. They're doing somersaults and stuff. Hey, they're above the curve with him, that's for sure. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.